Hey everybody, Amanda Townsend here. I'm really sorry if it's a little bit choppy. I live out in the boonies and my internet is acting up today, so I'm going to do my best. I hope you guys all had a great holiday weekend. I know us Canadians celebrated on Friday for Canada Day, and all of you guys yesterday for the 4th of July. That's awesome. I hope you guys are all recovered and ready to get down to business. I am super excited about this group for a couple of reasons, but the one thing that I think we can all agree on is that Success Club is a topic that we can never stop talking about and learning about ways to hit it and different tips and tricks. I know I'm excited to hear from other people what they do, because I'm all about soaking it all up and taking it all in, because I'm so up for learning new ways. So today I just want to talk about a little bit about the Power Hour. I'm also going to touch on and give you guys what I do on the days of my call to actions and what my Power Hour looks like and what my day looks like then. But first and foremost, we all know what the Power Hour is. You know, your coaches are constantly telling you, just get that Power Hour in and you're good. Some of us have more time, some of us have less. But the truth is, all you need is that hour. I know there's people that may work long hours, like 3-4 hours a day on their business. And honestly, guys, it's really not needed if you plan. And this is the key part to it all. And I know you probably all heard it, but at the end of the day, that good old saying is, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. And it's so true. So I have a couple notes. So if I'm looking over and back, sorry, I apologize. So your Power Hour, 1 hour a day. There's one thing that I personally do with my Power Hour. So I know that, your personal development is in there. That's the one thing that I started changing, is I started removing my personal development from my Power Hour. I do my personal development every single day without fail. It's something that I focus most of my attention on if I feel like I'm at this icky place, or I'm falling behind, or I need to work on myself. This is what I do. I make sure and do my personal development. Sorry. So one thing that I started doing is my personal development. I found the more I was doing, the better my posts were, and the better advice I could give to people and communicate with people, and it just fired me up. And before, there was months where I would struggle with my personal development purely because I just didn't have time. Some days, if I only had an hour, I'm thinking, I can't invest, 15, 20 minutes of that time into reading a book or listening to audio when I should be sending out invites. So what I started doing, and my routine, is I never include my personal development in my Power Hour. I always utilize it at other times of the day. So I like to enjoy a bath every evening. So if that was the time, I would do it. Sometimes I'll stick my phone in my back pocket and I'll put the headphones on while I'm cooking dinner or while I'm doing the dishes. On my drive anywhere, if I have somewhere I have to be, I'm putting on the audio. And that's really made a huge difference in my Power Hour, because I was able to utilize that time that I was taking and put it elsewhere, put it towards inviting and relationship building and doing all of that other stuff. So that's one piece of advice that if you're using your PD in your Power Hour, try and see if you can manage to find a little bit of time elsewhere when you're doing it. Because the reality is, we all shower, we all bathe, we all use the John. Any of that time can be used for your personal development. So if you remove that 10 to 15 minute block that you were eating at with your personal development, and you find other times to do it, then that gives you more time to focus on some of the other stuff that you may find in your business is in more need of. It takes up more time, right? It takes a lot of time to message people. So with personal development, definitely, trying to fit that in times that, aren't around. It's easier to fit in. I'm all about, I love to read now. I didn't before, but sometimes it's just a matter of, finding something, a good motivational or inspirational video on YouTube, or I'll do a catch up on my training. I'm not sure if some of you guys are in the TKO training right now. All of those videos have all been watched during, dinner prep, during cleanup, when I'm when I'm taking Lyle into his baseball game, whatever that may be, that's when I'm doing it. So that's one little tip that I would try. Oh, and so the biggest thing when we're talking about like fail to plan to fail, honestly, guys, I know we all say it, and I used to be horrible at it, but knowing your schedule is so big. So if you work full time, you know the hours you work, you know the times that you're going to be unavailable, you know when your child has a sporting event or an activity, so you know all of this stuff. So every night, maybe it's in your downtime when you're laying in bed, right before bed, figure out, even if it's just in your head, I'm a pen and paper girl, I have notebooks everywhere, and I know what my day looks like the next day. I know sometimes stuff comes up, but I'm always, if I know I have a really busy day and I'm going to be on the road, I'm laying there in bed and jotting notes in my phone or pre-making my posts for the next day, and just being ready to make sure that everything's being done that needs to be done, because sometimes our schedules are just hectic. Everybody has those days, but you don't want to miss a day. I've yet to miss a day, and that's honestly been because I know what my schedule looks like. And like I said, stuff comes up, but if you already have stuff available and ready to be posted, then you're laughing, right? And worst case scenario, if you post a little later, or you wish you could have posted earlier, something like that, that happens. And people want to see that you're human, but people are looking forward to your posts, you guys, and the consistency is key. So it might not be the content that you wanted to post that day, but just have stuff stored in a backup. I have on my phone, I have a little section of like I call them my emergency posts. So people can laugh at me if you want, but if something comes up and for some reason I'm somewhere where I can't pull out my phone or get to a computer or anything like that, or I have no content, maybe I'm just having a really shitty day, I have these posts pre-made, just ready to post at any time. It's not ideal, but for those emergency situations, they're awesome. So for example, I was literally out at a friend's cottage. I had zero reception, zero. So my excuse, I didn't want to look around and tell everybody like, oh, okay, well, like I got to go into town to work. But I'm like, hey, I'll do the beer run, zip into town. This is done, send, yes, work done. It's just stuff like that. So if you ever get time or you get a day, I suggest making those emergency posts for situations like that when you're unavailable to, come up with something. And it's, sometimes it's hard, you guys. I've talked to many of the coaches that say like, I have nothing to post. If you have nothing to post, then you need to do PD. That's just that. So emergency posts. I always keep 3 lists on my phone. I have a list for potential challengers, potential coaches, and my follow-up. And they're like long lists, and I add to them all the time. And then what I do is on my phone, if I'm out somewhere or if I'm busy, if somebody messages me, I just like put a little star, or if I reach out to somebody because I have a quick minute when, maybe Lyle's running into the store and I'm sitting in the car, I can quickly send out a quick message like, hey, just check in with somebody. And then I just go to my notes and I put a little star beside their name because I followed up with them. Just finding those little, just like on the wake up call the other day, you guys, it was so huge talking about those power pockets. Guys, I built my business in the beginning from power pockets. Legitimately, it's honestly, that's when, the magic happens, like finding those time. And then over, you'll start to get used to it and it becomes more of a habit. And power pockets, you see them everywhere. You're like, every time, I just think of it because I don't like to have my phone out when my family's around a lot. So if I'm out somewhere with Lyle and he's like, hey, I want to go to the skate park. Cool. I'll take you. And as I'm sitting there smiling, I'm videotaping him. Little does he know I'm sending messages. It's finding those little pockets of time too. So really, really key. Pre-need post. So when it comes to your power hour, I mean, obviously there's a long list of stuff that the expectations to get stuff done in a day. Find what you need to be doing and what is key to you. You know, like if you're really slowing down on inviting, then, you know, use most of your power hour to do that. Those are the days. So for me, I had about a week there where I focused a lot on personal development. I was really needing to soak up some, new energy or whatever it may be. So I didn't do a lot of inviting, and I knew that I didn't. So the next week was the week that I used a lot of my pre-made posts, because I wanted that time not to focus so much on the content, but to focus on the people that I had started those relationships with and wasn't following up on, or, adding new people to your network. Guys, that's something that literally I just do when I'm in bed. That's like it's a routine. I lie in bed, I plug my phone in, and I go through and I spend 10 minutes and I add, 3 to 5 people to my network every single night. It's just become routine for me. So with your power hour, it's all about planning, you guys. Find an effective way to plan for yourself. And it's really, I don't really have a lot of advice to give you, because it's something that everybody's schedule is different. So what works for me might not work for you. But just know what you just have to kind of starve aside what's most important and what your business needs and where you need to focus your energy on your power hour. If it comes to that, those emergency posts are key for me. Planning my day, knowing what my day looks like the next day. And like, even if it's not on pen and paper, just simply saying like, okay, I know I have appointments, think outside the box. Like, it could go late, it could do this, but I want to post at this time. So have it ready and use those power pockets, guys. That is key. So the last thing I want to talk about is something that I started doing and has been working for me. So we did our call to actions, and that was our focus, is kind of getting that out at the beginning of the week. So this is what I do, whether it's right or wrong, it's working for me, and maybe you want to try it and let me know how it works out for you. So I have found the 2 days that work best for me for my call to actions. Those 2 days are Sunday and Monday. My theory is Sunday tends to be a general lazy day for a lot of people. You're wrapping up the weekend, you have to go back to work on Monday. So a lot of people are just kind of lazing around in the evening. So that's what I tend to do on a Sunday. If I'm going to do it with my call to action, I tend to do it around the evening, because that's when a lot of, the people that are on my Facebook and my social media tend to get stuff rolling. So I'll post it, and that's my reason for posting on a Sunday. I also like to do call to actions on Monday evenings as well. They tend to work well for when I'm doing like a coaching call, right? So whether it's like a now hiring, or explaining the business opportunity, or reaching out about an upcoming what is coaching, because everybody's sitting there and hates Mondays. Monday, it's back to work. Why couldn't I have like a long weekend every weekend? So Sundays and Mondays are my 2 days. But what I started doing is I know before the weekend comes what day, whether I'm doing it Sunday or Monday, I know what call to action I'm going to do. I know what day, whether it's going to be Sunday or Monday, and I know whether it's going to be a challenge group, maybe one of my free groups, or a coaching call. The reason why I make this decision of what it is and not just kind of fly by the seat of my pants is because I've kind of come up with a system when it comes to my call to actions. So what I actually do is, in my head, I plan it out. Sometimes, honestly, I even will make the post way ahead of time, and it's done and it's ready. Could be ready, could not be. Either way, I know I'm posting on a certain day. So what I started doing is if I was doing like a coach call or a challenge group or whatever it is, I make a list of 10 to 20 people. I usually go for about 20 people. And I make a list of the people that I want in my mind. I want to join my challenge group. I want to join the coaching opportunity. And those are the people I absolutely focus on. So those 20 people, 25 people, whatever it may be. So what I do before that post is even ready to be posted, the day before, I actually take that list of people and I engage. I like their stuff. I engage on their posts. And I don't mean just go like. I actually take the time to put an effort to, even if it's just something funny, it's like, I open-ended questions on their posts and kind of get that conversation just going so that my face is popping up. And even sometimes what I like to do, I try to engage enough on their posts to be able to like send them a message. Like for example, with one girl last week, I sent a message and it was like, oh my gosh, why the heck did your child do that? Whatever possessed your child to do that? Like it was something really silly. And it just like led into a conversation. We were laughing. And so I was able to engage with that person. Zero talk about Beachbody. Zero. Nothing about anything. Not even little slight clues about it. I was totally giving her 100% of my attention, focused on her and this craziness that her child came up with. So what I do is I do that with my 25 people. When I have done that, I kind of, and this kind of sounds bad, but I tend to, if we're messaging back and forth and it goes to say like, it gets later in the evening or the posts or whatever that may be, I kind of leave it so that they have the last word, so that I didn't really answer. So like, if we have a conversation going and it's starting to die down, but they're still talking, I kind of just like ease away and I don't really reply at the end. That sounds really bad, but it's kind of like my good night, or if it gets too late, or seeing is I leave it so that I have something, I have a reason to talk to them the next day. So then what I do after I've engaged lots, I've liked their stuff, I've done all that. And you guys, sometimes depending on times, I will do that, you know, with more than 25 people if I get the opportunity to. But I really narrow my list down to the people that I really, really want to be a part of this. So then the next day, whether it's a Sunday or a Monday, or it could be other day, I do call to actions on other days, but I focus my attention on those 2 days. Then I post. And once I post, I make sure and do it, you know, on the time that's I see best that day. And then I go back to all of those conversations that I had. I give it a little while, give people, you know, a little bit time to see it. And then I kind of wait a little bit. And then I go back to those conversations. So I went back to the conversation with the girl that we were talking about her child, because she ended, like she was the last word. So I was able to go, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you know, like I didn't mean to, you know, not get back to you, and just reply to that message. And then if the conversation engages a little bit more, then I can say, hey, you know, like, it's funny, I actually just posted about it and you'd be the perfect fit for it. Why don't you consider it? And then it doesn't seem so, that light is just like right in the face. Then it doesn't seem so pushy, right? Like it's just random and like a cold message. It's more, you know, the conversation's already there. They know I'm already engaging in their Facebook page, so that I'm not just picking people from a hat and asking them to join my team or, you know, join my challenge group. So that's kind of my rundown for what I do for the challenge groups. And challenge groups or coaching calls, my call to actions. And it's been working really well for me. I'm not saying that every time I get one, I'm, you know, hitting Success Club or I'm having people join my team, but it's really, really opening up that topic of conversation without feeling all icky inside. So basically, just again, the rundown is pick your day, know the day you're gonna post your call to action. The day before or the evening before, I like to do it the day before, but whatever works best for you. Have your list ready of those, you know, 10, 15, 20 people, and go engage like crazy. Excuse me, sorry. And then you post and then you can get back to them and you don't feel so yucky reaching out to people. I can remember in the beginning of my business, guys, those cold messages, I tried it and I felt so gross every time I did it. I fucking hate it. Oh, sorry. I hated it a lot. I did really good. This has been a long video and that's the first time I swore. Like my team is probably just like, right now, seriously. So anyways, yeah, engage with them, do your post, follow up with them. The cold messages, they work for some people. It's not my jam. I like real conversation. I like engaging with people, and it just feels so much more natural when you talk with somebody and get them, you know, signing up for a challenge group or joining your team. And it seems like that relationship's already there. I don't know about you guys, but having, you know, a new coach on the team that you know nothing about, there's no relationship there, there's no trust there, often it's not always the best turnout. So really focus on that. I hope that helps. I'm sorry I rambled. I convinced myself this was going to be short. I lied. It's not. But those are my little tips for the day. So the power hour stuff, you know, I don't have a lot other than those power pockets, just like you heard on the wake up call. Pre-making your posts, you know, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. Seriously, guys, take 10 minutes at night, and even if it's when you're lying in bed, whether it's when you're in the bath, whether it's you're walking into the mailbox, like, you know, I'm one of those people, because if I have my phone when the boys are home, they're like, I'm getting this stare down, you know? So I gotta find those times. I walk to that, take extra long bathroom breaks. Maybe they think I take a number 2 like many times. I don't know. Sometimes I find myself sitting there, but they can't really harass me if I'm going to the washroom. So find those power pockets. Do what you gotta do. I'm really, really super excited. I can't wait to hear from the rest of the ladies, and I really hope that helped. If you guys have any questions, if you would like me to basically give you a rundown, I can also do up a document for my call to action days and how I kind of go about it if you are interested in it. And that's it for me. I'm out.